Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today I am going to be taking you for a walk through our gardens. This is our Proven Winners Signature Gardens here at Garden Crossings, and we're excited to show you all the beautiful things that are blooming right now. So stick with me. It's going to be a long walk, but I promise you, you will be inspired with all the beautiful plant varieties that are currently blooming. Let's go walk through the garden. There is just so much color going on right now out here in the Signature Garden, and we're going to go take a walk, and I'm just going to kind of talk to you briefly about some of the different colors that we're seeing here. So we'll just start off right up front here. The beautiful splashes of magenta are the Paint the Town. It's actually more of a reddish magenta, but those are the Paint the Town Dianthus, Paint the Town Red. Beautiful, low-growing, massive color. When those are done flowering, we'll give them a little bit of a trim and they'll be right back to blooming again. The chartreuse yellow-green you're seeing there, that is sedum, and that is doing gorgeous as well. That's the lemon coral sedum. We've got some white sun patience in here. Also got the Supertunia Mini Vista White. Those are looking so beautiful. Just so much color and inspiration going on right now in this garden. Here we have some of the Supertunia Vista Paradise. Beautiful magenta color mixed in there with the Nemesia Aromance Mulberry. I really just love that Aromance Mulberry, and it has done fantastic as long as it's been out here in the garden. Oh, Creeping Thyme, we caught it in its prime. That is just gorgeous. Can't wait till it engulfs that rock. We're going to head up. Actually, we'll head around the garden right now, and then we'll come back through. The beautiful splashes of yellow there, that's the Candy Corn Spirea. Just starting to put on a little bit of bloom color there. We have a mass planting, again, of the Supertunia Mini Vista White and the brand new Supertunia Mini Vista Midnight. What a gorgeous pop of color. Making the way around this bend, we come to a sea of Supertunia Vista Bubblegum. Does that not just look gorgeous? And across the aisle, the fence planting here, we did mass plantings of Supertunia Vista Bubblegum, Supertunia Paradise, a little bit of the Mini Vista White, and then we have some salvia as well, which will be great for the hummingbirds. Kind of a little bit of that red, white, and blue feel. All right, I think we'll head up on the berm and take a look closer at some of the things that are in the berm blooming. So we are located in Zeeland, Michigan. If you are in the area or if you feel like taking a day trip, we welcome you out to visit not only our garden center, but also the beautiful Signature Garden here. Here we have the penstemon. This is Onyx and Pearls. It's in its prime right now. Beautiful dark foliage, white flowers. It is so beautiful. Just love how it's dancing in the breeze. Baptisia's kind of on its way out of blooming. In the back there, the beautiful orange is the Atlas Rose. What a beautiful sign that is. So excited to be part of the Proven Winners Signature Garden program. In the back here, we've got a few of the Rebecca Gold Star blooming. The poppies were looking great until this wind. Oh, this wind is just blowing all of the petals off the poppies. Got some Monarda back here blooming. Such pretty color. Beautiful phlox. Let's see if we can tell which one this is. This is the Phlox Cloudburst. We have a little bit of shade here, so we kind of take advantage of it with some Perennials. Those are planted in the ground. We'll see how they do. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do, but we like to try new things. A few hostas, just little guys just planted. Voices in the Wind. And then this one here is Love Story. So just started, but we got to start them small. and we'll be able to talk more about them as they continue to grow. Oh, lupin, you are so beautiful. Look at that beautiful blooms of those lupin. If you haven't tried lupin in your garden, they are just one of my favorites. Here's a few more, some red rum, and oh man, this one here, I'm drawing a blank as the name, but it's so pretty. So yeah, a lot of garden color going on right now in this garden. It's kind of, I don't know if this is going to be the prime or if we'll find that it's even more in its prime as the summer goes on. But I must say that those dianthus paint the town red really are creating quite a show in this garden right now. All right, we got a lot more gardens to go to, so let's continue on this walk. Stick with me and let's see what else we've got. As we're heading over here to the sign garden, we did a mass planting of sun patiens. So in the middle there is the purple sun patiens, along with the lemon coral sedum is the yellow that you're seeing there outlining the garden. And then we did little pockets here of the Supertunia Mini Vista White. So right now this lemon coral sedum is very, very yellow looking. And I think that's because it is in the full sun all day long. The sun patiens will continue to fill out, and hopefully by the end of the summer, we won't be seeing any of the soil. We'll just be seeing a mass of beautiful blooms. Let's head on over now to the Waterfall Garden and see what's going on over here. In the Waterfall Garden, we do a lot of repetition of, there's probably about 8 or so different plants. We used to do a lot of just mass planting, but we've been trying the last couple years to just mix a lot of different things in to showcase, not all the plants, but several different plant varieties together. Beautiful coloration there. Oh, that rose bush in the background. Unfortunately, that is a variety that Proven Winners discontinued many years ago. It's just a small little rose, but man, that's quite a beautiful pop of color. We got more sun patiens there, some begonias, artist purple argyratum, begonias, torchlight coleus, beautiful clematis in the back there in bloom. A mass planting of the cat's meow nepeta, creating kind of a little sweep there through the garden. In the center there of the garden, we have the torchlight coleus, limestime coleus, surefire white begonia, and euphorbia diamond snow, along with little patches there of the argyratum artist blue, or artist purple. I think it's artist blue. So there's a lot of shade under that tree there, especially this time of day. So planting those coleus in there really kind of gives it a beautiful pop of color. Now I'm wondering here if I'm seeing some rabbit damage, although maybe not, looking here at the begonias. But I think that it's just that they're kind of nice and tight right now, so they'll get bigger as it goes on. This pond here we keep kind of natural, a lot of frogs in that area. Look at that beautiful mass planting of the begonia cherry cordial. That is doing phenomenal. And those spirea in the background, what a beautiful pop of color. Lined this area here with more sun patiens, more begonias, more coleus, lots of color. So we'll continue to update you throughout the summer. About every 3 weeks or so, I try to get out here and do a video. That way you can see the progress of how the plants are doing as we go on. Look at those beautiful, those are Invincible Spirit 2 hydrangeas. They are huge. They were trimmed back last year and wow, they have come back just amazing. They haven't started flowering yet, but wow, look at all those blooms. That will be an impressive show of color once they start flowering. Let's take a quick look over here at the 55-mile-an-hour garden. So So for those of you who had watched my May video, I talked a little bit about the plants that were in here. We have a mass planting of the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, and they're doing fabulous. Along the front there, we have the Macedonia Gold Dust, and that's doing pretty good. Wasn't sure exactly how that was going to do, but I think it's really looking pretty nice. On the back side of the 55-mile-an-hour garden, we have it lined here with white sun patiens, and I love the look of white sun patiens in the night. So if you haven't tried using white in the night, it just really, it glows. It's a beautiful glowing color. We have a bunch of sun-credible sunflowers planted. So the idea is that these sun-credible sunflowers will get just taller than the fence, and that will complement really pretty that Macedonia Gold Dust during the summer. We do have a few staple plants in here, some shrubs such as butterfly bush, Rosa Sharon. We've got this arborvitae here, Fluffy, so that's our evergreen color. We also have some winterberry hollies for winter color. That's a hydrangea there. I believe it's Limelight Prime. Some lilacs for early color. They didn't do a whole lot this year. It's still pretty small, that lilac is. There's our winterberry. Oak leaf hydrangea, because we really don't have many of those to talk about, so I wanted to make sure we got one of those out here. So as it starts to flower, we have something to talk about. And then this just kind of repeats with more of the winterberries, lilacs, and at the very end there is the, I believe it's the purple pillar, Rosa Sharon. We'll see as it starts to bloom. So this here is one of the newest garden beds we have. Well, with the exception of that fence garden I showed you earlier, that's just full of annuals right now, but we'll get some perennials and shrubs in there as it goes. But this garden is in its third season. The first 2 years it was very lackluster, and I didn't have much hope for it. But this year, it's really found its time to shine. So what do we have in this garden here? Well, we just planted that new redbud tree. That's one of the trees that's part of the Proven Winter Tree collection. So it's really taken a whipping out here right now, but beautiful foliage with the burgundy undersides and the green top sides. Really a nice specimen. Around it, we just planted more of the Paint the Town Red Dianthus, so that's going to kind of be a frame to that plant. They were just planted, so they look a little bit like they were just planted, but that's going to be a gorgeous mass of color next year. This border here, I wasn't sure what to think about it, but man, am I loving it. It has the new Supertunia Persimmon along with the Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow, and it's so windy, so the plants really are not giving their best face forward right now, but this is a gorgeous, gorgeous mix of color. Behind it, we put a little bit of lantana. I think that's the lemon lantana, along with the Nemesia Air Romance mulberry, because I love that plant, along with some diamond snow. So the Nemesia and the diamond snow really have kind of a very comparable habit, just a nice little mound of color, and they're doing well together. Up there behind the rock, we have, let's get in there closer and show you the Happy Jack Clematis. This is one of the Proven Winners Clematis, and it's just starting to bloom. Really vibrant, deep purple. Let's see if it'll focus. Well, let's back it up a little bit. I think all the wind is really confusing the camera. We'll go try something else here. But really a beautiful, vibrant, deep purple bloom, and lots of them. So we did a mass planting, probably, I don't know, 75 foot or so of this persimmon and Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow. Other things that are blooming, the phlox is just kind of on its way out. That was gorgeous about a month ago. So here we have the ajuga. Look at that bright splash of chartreuse yellow. This is part of the Feathered Friends series. This is Tropical Toucan, and that's going to kind of spread and fill in that little area. Planted behind it is a mass planting of Monarda, so we'll have to wait until the next video to watch that come into bloom. The bit of honey heliopsis is doing really nice. Look at the beautiful variegated foliage, and it's going to have some nice yellow flowers, but right now the foliage is looking beautiful. Ooh, and what's that, you say? Well, that is a brand new Weigela for 2023. That is the Midnight Sun Weigela. So it's still very young. It was just recently planted, but check out that beautiful foliage. Nice coppery orange tones to it, and it's going to get pink flowers. Something we'll watch next year as it gets a little bit bigger, but really gorgeous foliage. And the dianthus. Look at these dianthus. They are in their prime right now, and they are so fragrant. It smells like cinnamon. Just love those little mounds of color. Here's a few more of the Paint the Town. These are a little bit on their way out, but still, they are gorgeous. Oh, we missed something. In the back there is some tall phlox. That is the opening act Pinkadot. So just a very soft whitish pink with a magenta dot in the center. It's just dancing in the breeze today. Dolce Wildberry Heuchera. Gorgeous plant in full sun. And then here we're kind of repeating back again, more of that Paint the Town, more of the Pinkadot, and then more of the dianthus. Sedum are looking pretty nice here. This is Sedum Bright Idea. It's going to get nice little, oops, get me out of the shadow. Nice little yellow flowers. And look at those red stems in there. Nice compact habit. Just beautiful little splashes of color. Profusion Salvia. This is Profusion Pink Salvia, planted next to Profusion Purple Salvia. As we make the way around the corner, you can see we did another little planting here of the Persimmon Supertunias, along with the Supertunia Mini Vista Yellow. And behind them, that mass you're seeing of color, that is the Dicentra Pink Diamonds. This is a bleeding heart for full sun areas. They bloom all summer long. Absolutely gorgeous. More sedum, kind of just showing us some nice foliage color here. This is the Pop Star sedum. Heuchera, or Corabelle's dressed up evening gown. Beautiful lemony lace Sambucus. Now that's planted in full sun here in Michigan. We're a zone 5B6A. And it's doing really nice. Not seeing any burn or anything going on. Up at the berm, we've got a little surprise for 2024. Check it out. Recently planted the Hoopla Vivid Orchid Petunias. What do you think? So we'll watch as those guys continue to fill out through the summer and see how they do up here in the garden. Ooh, as long as we're up, we have another clematis. This is Clematis Viva Polonia. I love Viva Polonia. Beautiful magenta blooms with nice white star patterns. Really a very neat addition. So what we did here is we just took some re-rod and painted it, created kind of a teepee, and that's what we're climbing up the clematis on. As long as I'm up here, I might as well stay up on the top of the hill and we'll just look down on things. Durvilla, beautiful foliage, red tips. Next to it is the geranium. This is beautiful dark foliage, bright purple blooms. This is called Boom Chocolata. Doesn't that purple and white look nice together with that Mini Vista white petunia? Boom Chocolata is really putting on a pretty show. We planted some climbing roses last year and they're doing pretty good for their first season. Here we have the Rise Up Ringo. Really pretty. This is Rise Up Amberness. Looks a lot like the At Last rose, just this is a climbing rose. And then last we have the Rise Up Lilac Days. A beautiful light pink, kind of little tinge of lavender in there. What else will we find? So there's definitely a lot of spots in this garden yet that leave us opportunity to plant a lot more things. So that's something we'll be looking at over the summer, is what we want to plant in these open spots. Now, you know, we always want instant gratification, so we do have to keep in mind things will grow and fill out, and the garden will be full at some point, but we really don't want to see any ground. We want to see all flowers. Here's a pretty plant. This is a honeysuckle. This is the Sensation honeysuckle. Super fragrant, beautiful yellow blooms. We have it here on a trellis. This was just planted last year as well. And this is going to get quite tall as it continues to grow. But I love all these upward little things that we put into the garden to give us some height. The different rising up roses, the clematis that are growing up tall. It's nice to get a little bit of height while the garden is still fairly young. Here's another new plant. This is a Weigela also. This one is called Vino Verde. Beautiful foliage, that bicolor foliage. This will get pink flowers on it. I don't think it got flowers this year, but the plant is still pretty young. But the foliage is what the main interest is of this, and it's got gorgeous foliage. So as we're kind of halfway through this garden bed, I do want to show you this area in front of me. This is where the next garden project is going to go. We're going to put a 3 to 4 foot wall in front of that greenhouse, and we're going to flatten this whole area out and make it like a nice kind of a grassy bed. But in front of that wall that we're going to have excavated and put in there will be more flower beds. So if you've got things that you'd love to see a video on or want us to see planted in this bed, I'm open to suggestions. And if there's anybody out there that is a plant company that wants us to talk about and or show their plant varieties that are new, we are welcoming new plant varieties from other breeders and companies as well. Here's some more sedum. Rock and Low Yellow Brick Road. That will get some pretty yellow flowers on it. Planted just a few more of the Paint the Town. You can tell we really love those plants. And here's another rose. This is Reminiscent Crema. Beautiful light cream roses, nice and fragrant. Here's Reminiscent Pink. These really don't need to be on a trellis like this, but we just did it to kind of give a little character to this garden. Oh, and then up front, wow, aren't they beautiful? Midnight Masquerade Penstemon. Wow, those are beautiful. Nice deep dark foliage, near black, with the beautiful pink bell flowers. This is a hummingbird's dream. And planted just in front of it, and I think this foliage combination is great, is the Oregano Drops of Jupiter. That bright yellow. I will say though, be careful with Drops of Jupiter. It does like to run and go wherever it wants. So make sure you put it in an area that if it spreads, you're okay with it spreading, and or just make sure to control it. The back side of the waterfall bed, what's blooming here? I see a lot of hydrangeas that will soon be in bloom. Look at all those buds. Those are going to be gorgeous in probably about 2 weeks. The back side here, we have a bunch of profusion salvia that were recently planted. We typically in the past did a lot of annuals on this side, but we're trying to get a lot more perennials incorporated in. That way this area doesn't have to get planted every year. And that way too, we can just showcase more of the perennials that we carry. right, where to go next? So this here is typically a bed that we plant new perennials in for the following year. So a lot of these perennials in this bed were new for 2023 varieties. And then we've also added in a bunch of new for 2024 annuals. So let's take a look at what we got here. Here's some new Campanula. These are called Campanula Midnight. Really beautiful little clusters of the purple plants. Red Rover. Euchorella. Not too much blooming out here quite yet. So here's another little planting of the Hoopla Supertunias. Next to it is the Supertunias Mini Vista Ultramarine. A little bit brighter than the Midnight. We'll have to see how they do in this area because there's a lot of standing water right along the edge of this bed. So we might have to transplant them up because I don't want them to get too wet and then not be a good trial. Also, we have the new Scaevola Whirlwind White. This is an improved Scaevola, so we'll see how it does. Typically, that would be a plant we would plant in a hanging basket, but we want to try it not only in the landscape, but also in hanging baskets. So I have it in containers. I have it in containers planted as well, but we like to trial both in ground and in containers. In the back there is the new Superbena. This is the pink cashmere, really a beautiful pink. And I'll have to do an update video of the aquapots we planted using all of these new varieties, just to show you how they're coming along. Improved Bermuda Beach. Now again, these plants were just planted, so don't think, wow, they're a little unimpressive. They just got in the ground, so they haven't had time to fill out and do their thing. Here we have the Supertunia Mini Vista Sweet Sangria. That's a gorgeous colored plant. So yeah, so we'll see, like here, standing water right here. So these might have to get moved because I don't want them getting all funky. Here's something I want to point out, the Verbena Cherry Burst. So a lot of times we were seeing a lot of variations in the bloom color of this plant. Now that has been bred into the plant and is very intentional. If you grow Superbena Cherry Burst, you're going to see all these different variations in one plant, and that is normal. So I wanted to point that out. The aquapots out here are doing pretty good. Got Coralina with Sedum Lemon Coral, and then Indigo Mini Vista. Looks like the lemon coral sedum's taken over on that one though. You never know when you put things together. Like the color combination is gorgeous, but that sedum is just like, hello, this is my world and I'm living my best life right now. These pots here have the Rockin' Blue Suede Shoe Salvia, which are great for the hummingbirds, along with the Persimmon Supertunia and the Mini Vista Yellow. And those are looking really nice, I think. I love the Rockin' Blue Suede Shoes blue in that combination. There are a few Baptisias still blooming, looky here. So here we have the Baptisia. This is the, what's it called? It's the pink one. We'll put the name up on the screen. Pink truffles. For some reason that doesn't sound right, but looking nice. And we got the blue one here. These were in their prime 2 weeks ago. So this is just kind of the end of what they're doing. Shasta daisies waiting to open. All right, let's go head over to the fence and take just a quick little look at a few more things, and then we're almost ready to wrap up this video. So I'd love to know, like, what things have you seen that looked really impressive to you? Feel free to leave those in the comments below, because I always love to know, like, what are the plants that people are oohing and eyeing over? I mean, I know the ones I ooh and ah over, but I'm curious to see how they match up with what you're oohing and eyeing over. The Atlas Rose, gorgeous. Opening Act Phlox, what a massive, beautiful splash of color that is. Behind it is some diamond ball clematis. So really, if you like the Proven Winners clematis, you were able to see quite a lot of them today here in this video. In the back, there's just a couple Jolly Good starting to open. Might as well show you those too. Diamond ball is kind of a very, very, very light lavender. Sometimes it looks even more white. Here's more of the opening act phlox. What a beautiful display. So this is the opening act blush, and you can see there's kind of variations of color going on that plant. Bright splashy yellows, candy corn spirea. Paint the Town Fancy dianthus right along the road there. This aquapot's doing good with a Supertunia latte and the Begonia Surefire cherry cordial. In the back is the coffee cups. That's doing really nice, the elephant ear. Invincible Wee White's trying to be ready to open. It's got its buds and it's waiting to bloom. Daisy May starting to show some color. Kind of repeating as we continue down this garden bed with colors that we've seen on the other side. We'll head over to the front of the entrance because there's something I haven't shown you yet, and these are our beautiful weekender hanging baskets. These were recently hung. These are hanging baskets that have water reservoirs in them, so we only have to water them every probably 2 or 3 days or so. But we were just looking, we used to have a ton of hanging baskets we could put out front, and with the new design here of the garden center, we kind of missed out on being able to do hanging baskets. So we saw these at a show that we did, we were at last summer, and thought, you know what, that's the perfect addition to our entrance. So it's just gorgeous how they're just swaying in the breeze. And the plants we used in them this year are the Supertunia Mini Vista Sweet Sangria, the Supertunia Mini Vista White, and the Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo, and they are doing fabulous. Along the front pathway here of the parking lot is loaded with Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, more of the gold dust, and some salvia, and they are just doing fabulous. So the thing that's been really unique is how the jazzberry has really filled out. When we first planted it, when was it, mid-April or so, mid to end of April, they weren't even touching each other, and now it's already forming just a beautiful massive color along the edge of the sidewalk. We did just pop in a few cannas. We had some allium in here, some allium bulbs, and they're finished. So we did a little splash of yellow here with the cannas, and they are doing gorgeous as well. I was just feeling like I was ready to wrap the video up, and as I walk past those aquapots, I'm sure you want to see them, right? So let's take a look at the aquapots. This aquapot here has the Supervel's Prism Pink Lemonade, and it is doing beautifully. Shades of pink and yellow and all the shades in between, along with some geraniums and amazing rockin' purple salvia. It's already burying the palm tree we had in the middle there. So that is just a super great look. That pink lemonade is doing far more than what I had even imagined it would do. And then there's a little bit of silver falls dangling on the edge because every little planter needs a little bit of silver falls just to give it some character. We'll take a look at two more over here. So these aquapots are giant. We fill them up about once a week with water, but that keeps us from having to water every single day these planters. This one here is loaded with Lasmachia Creeping Jenny. It's the gold you're seeing, just trailing over the edge. We've got a few lantana that are surviving because they are getting taken over with this Broelia. What in the world? That Broelia is doing amazing in this planter. It must love the aquapot. In the back there is some perfectly pink Angelonia, and then the palm tree in the center for the Thriller. Wow, that Broelia is doing amazing. Next one we're going to look at here has more salvia in the center, along with the Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink, some silver falls kind of trailing over, and I guarantee you there was probably about 2 or 3 other things planted in there, but that Mini Vista has just taken over. Oh, here's something. Osteospermum trying to compete. It's just no match there, though, for that Supertunia Mini Vista Hot Pink. And the last pot, and this one I thought was so unique when we planted it up. It's got the Kufia Vermillionaire, which is really beautiful. The begonias, nonstop begonias. I wasn't sure how they were going to do here in this full sun, but they're doing fabulous. We've got the sweet potato vine doing great. And then the coral sun super bells. This planter is one of those that I would have never come up with the planting myself. But Ben, who does some of our design here, did a fabulous job. And I'm just loving this creative and unique look. Thank you for walking through the garden with me today. It's been a pleasure. I hope you were inspired by some of the different plant varieties that you saw. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And if you happen to be in the area, are looking to do a day trip, visit us here at Garden Crossings in Zeeland, Michigan, and take the time to walk through our signature gardens yourself. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.